Live, everyone. I'm your host, Carole Freeman, master's degree in nutrition and psychology. I'm a board certified keto nutrition specialist, and my honored, I don't know how to introduce. I grew up in Oregon. I have terrible manners. I don't know how to do this stuff. My special guest co-host today is Erik Escobar. He's a comedian and keto success story, from what he's told me, and I've seen the before and after, so it's amazing. But Erik, just for fun, I always have my guest co-host read the medical disclaimer because we want to make sure that we don't get in trouble on these shows. So are you willing to jump in and read that?
You know what, Carole? It would be my honor. It would be my honor to read this medical disclaimer. Let's do it. Hey, friends, this show is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not a medical advice nor intended to diagnose, prevent, treat, or cure any condition. If you have questions or concerns related to your specific medical condition, please contact your doctor. Don't hit us up. The most degree I have is in theater. All right, that is not medical at all. I can teach you how to do a breathing exercise, tongue twister, but seriously, contact your professional help. Please contact your personal healthcare professional. Too much coffee, unhonored. Let's get this going.
Love it. Love it. Those of you watching live, join in, comment. I can see that we have people watching live, but I can't see who you are until you actually comment. So this is an interactive show. If you're just joining us, let us know where you're joining from, and you're going to be part of the show. Don't worry, we won't make you come on camera unless you really want to. But wait, you have a degree in theater, so does that mean you could play a doctor on TV? Is that what that means?
I could play a doctor in your local community theater basement production.
Okay,
that is the highest of my credits. But yeah, I actually studied film and theater for my undergrad, and I have my master's in performance studies with a focus in comedy. So that was really, really cool. Very, very fun.
That's a thing?
It's a thing, but this is how much of a thing it is. It is a thing that is very stressful. Going to college, going to grad school, you have late night term papers, you have to study for things all the time, and you stress out all the time. I put on so much weight, especially in grad school, because I would have these papers that I didn't do until the night before. I'm up until 3 a.m, like just hate eating ice cream sandwiches and buckets of bread, just buckets of bread. And definitely paid the price for it.
Susan
Hello,
from
Susan.
Chicago's here. She's a regular. Glad you're here, Susan.
Welcome. I really hope there's some keto or carbless Giordano's or Lumalnati's. If there is any deep dish pizza that is not filled with carbs, let us know.
Did you just mention Lumalnati's?
I love Lumalnati's.
I might go have that for dinner tonight. The conference I'm at, actually, the reason I even heard about it, a personal check-in. Well, let's just get to that. Let's get to the personal check-in side.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I always feel like I need to officially announce the different segments of this show, but it's just going to flow. We're going to have a great time here.
We're
so
loose.
Everyone who's
just
joining us, give us a comment. Let us know where you're joining from. Welcome to the show. So glad that you're here. This show today, the topic, along with featuring the amazing Erik and talking about his degrees in theater and comedy, we're going to talk about stress and how stress can be a killer of ketosis, and some really quick, easy techniques that you can do to turn off that stress response in our body. So, all right. So, so I was talking about the conference that I'm at. So personal check-in for me, I'm attending a marketing and automation conference, which for a lot of you may sound like super snoozy boring. And the reason I'm there is because a good friend of mine in the keto space, Tyler Cartwright, some of you watching may know him. He's half of the Keto Gains team. Tyler's lost about 300 pounds on keto and maintained that. He's a beast. And so he told me about the conference that's here and basically in my backyard here in Phoenix. And I don't remember. Why was I talking about that? I don't know. So we've got
Lumalnati's. We're talking about Lumalnati's.
Oh, Lumalnati's.
Tie into the pizza.
Trying to figure out where to go and for dinner. So another person that's lives here locally is Dr. Ruiz, who is also, he's my personal doctor, but he's also a part of the Keto Gains community. They've got a doctor concierge service online. So anyways, we're thinking about where to go for dinner tonight. And I was like, we got to go to Lumalnati's and get the Crestless, or they call it Crestless pizza, I think, right? But it's
I believe so. It's cheese and sauce and all kinds of delicious. That's what it is.
So the crust, instead of a regular crust, it's made with ground sausage. So it's like a deep dish pizza.
Oh my!
Have you had that?
No, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, you've got to ask. It's I don't know if it's on all their menus, but you've got to ask for it ahead of time because it takes them like 30 minutes to prep it. They hand make it. But yeah, so imagine the regular deep dish pizza, but the crust is 100% ground sausage, and then all the toppings of a pizza on it.
Jeez
Oh my God,
Louise!
It is a great dinner. It's a great breakfast.
It's a great everything.
Good. Yeah, so I may get to eat that later tonight. So, anyways,
this
welcome, Lynn.
This is the most heartbreaking thing for me. It's Illuminati's the favorite all around. I love it. Susan, what's up?
Meat crust.
So I have a buddy. His name's Easton Gage. He's a wonderful comedian out of California, but he has family in Chicago. And I went to Chicago, did some shows there, and this was before I was doing keto, and he hit me back up, and he was like, "Did you have Illuminati's?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was one of the best pies I ever had." And he's like, "Oh, what's your address?" A couple of weeks later, he sends me some frozen Illuminati's pies.
You can order it like shipped anywhere. Yeah.
It's beautiful. And I was like, "Easton, you didn't need to do that, man. I appreciate the gift, but really, you didn't need to do that." And he's like, "No, you don't get it. His cousin married into the Malnati family, and he gets frozen pizzas sent to him probably once a month."
Wow.
And I'm like, it is so horrible because he is super fit. He's got a 30-pack. It's not even a 6-pack. He's abs, very athletic. And I'm like, you're probably crushing Illuminati's pies once a week, twice a month, whatever it is. And you look great. I'm very jealous. I wish I could do the same thing.
I realize as you're saying the name of this restaurant, it sounds like Illuminati.
It does.
It's meant to be like that because I was like, which restaurant are you referring to? Lou Malnati's, which if you say it West Coast style, it sounds like Illuminati's. Okay,
there is a lot of mystery to both.
I
how
sure hope we
delicious
don't get flagged for whatever term it sounds like right now. But Chicago pizza, maybe that's not really the guy's name. It's a code name. I don't know.
Maybe it could be Illuminati. His name could also be Conspiracy. You never know. He just has it's just as bad. He was like Illuminati's one less worse.
Awesome. Okay, I'm checking. I sent a reminder out to people to join. I just forgot to check because I asked them, if you like the link, let me know. But it looks like Lynn found us. That's good. So she was the one that was asking for the link. So I see you're here, Lynn. Excellent. Yay. Okay.
Lynn Malnati, our favorite.
Yeah. So if anybody, I've been announcing this the last couple of episodes, but I have a new texting number. If you would like to personally connect with me, if you'd like to get reminders when we go live here, send me a text. Oh, I think I've got the banner I could pull up and get real fancy here. Oh, here we go. 602-704. This is the fun. I didn't pick this number. They assigned this to me. Look at the last of it. 5309. You know what that's from, Eric, right? Are you old enough to know?
8575-309.
Jenny, don't lose my number. 5309. You got to sing it. But it's, it's the Arizona version of that. 602-704-5309. Join me by text. I send out a reminder when we go live each week. And if you'd like to connect, also, if I'm going to do comedy someplace other than around here, I'll send you a reminder out that I'm going to be doing that as well. I'm going to go see Eric sometime, I guess. Yeah.
Hopefully. It's the Arizona version because this Jenny has tattoos and loves menthols. That's why.
Okay.
It's definitely.
Wait, do you have a Jenny tattoo, Eric?
I don't. I should get a Jenny tattoo. I've never dated a Jenny, but you know what? Maybe one day. I thought about this 20 years ago just for you.
Okay. Now the next question is, do you have a tattoo for every girlfriend then?
No, that would be a travesty. I can't afford the tattoos. I definitely can't afford the tattoo removal for that. So talking about tattoos, I get a tattoo every state I perform in. So okay. I got I think I just hit 22. I might be at 21. But I actually have a lot of love for Arizona because in Arizona I got two very meaningful tattoos. The first tattoo I got was of my wonderful dog who's since passed away, but probably the most meaningful tattoo I have on my body. And the second one, the tattoo artist from Arizona, is actually the guy who worked on my back. So my back is being done by an Arizona artist who's now living elsewhere, but It started in AZ, so I'm repping AZ for that one.
It's interesting because there's somebody that I met that lives here that actually flies back up to Washington State to get his tattoos. So
no way.
Yeah. It's two very prominent tattoo places, apparently. I don't know. So
I feel like it's one of those things where if you find a tattoo artist where you vibe with them, you like their art, they're good people, you want to support them, you would rather fly back to Washington or drive 6 hours to work with them than get it by someone who you don't know, maybe just a street shop. You know what I mean?
I get that because my eyelash technician back in Seattle, when I moved from there a year and a half ago, I struggled to find. I was debating whether I wanted to fly back and get her to work with me again. But I've since found somebody here. It took me quite a while, but
I have stress dreams about like my favorite restaurants closing down. You know what I mean? Like when you have like a spot that you like, you're like, I hope the owner doesn't die. You know what I mean? It's really oh my God, I hope this place stays open forever. I hope I can always have this connect, whatever it is.
It's the same with like skincare products and other things for me personally. I don't know for all women, but for me personally, it's like there's one thing I find that I love, and I've had things discontinued. So now I buy like 5 of them just in case they discontinue them. So, well,
I'm not a big smoker anymore, but I used to be a smoker, and then I was vaping, and there was this one vape flavor I loved, and then they cut it out of market. And I was vaping for a year and a half, a long time without a cigarette. And as soon as they cut that out of the market, I went back to cigarettes before I quit. And I was like, oh my Lord, this is horrible. You deleting this flavor is giving me cancer. It's all your fault. I'm going to sue you.
Welcome to our health podcast, everyone. So glad you're here.
We're talking about the lows, and now we're in the highs. I'm clean. I'm good. I'm great.
Susan says she has stress dreams about Topo Chico being out of stock. Okay. Susan, we need to know your flavor. Is it like, are you just the pure original, or do you like the grapefruit or the lime? Like tell me your flavor you got to have. So I feel sad when people have never had Topo Chico. I'm like, it's a sparkling mineral water, but the key I think is the glass bottle. The reason I know it's the glass is because in the past, when I was just doing YouTube interviews with different keto people, we were doing a streak where we would do a taste test of different keto foods every episode. And my guest I would have on, and we would taste test things. And so one of the episodes was about heavy cream. And we literally were doing little shot glasses of heavy cream. And we got like the organic and this carton. And then we got the glass ones. And the glass ones, even if they weren't organic, were like, oh my God, like blow your mind, so much better tasting. So plastic stuff or like carton stuff is lined with this plastic, and I think you can taste it. So I think that's one of the reasons why Topo Chico tastes so good is because it's in glass instead of a plastic bottle.
I just learned from a bar I went to recently. I'm kind of a vodka soda man these days. So back in the day, I would drink beer, and a lot of bartenders, they don't like carrying cans. Because a can, if you store it for, a month, couple months, the can will affect the flavor. But if you put it in a glass bottle, you can keep that beer for a year. And it won't, the flavor profile never changes. It just stays how it is, unless you're putting it in like a hot cellar or something. And if that's the case, bad bar.
Well, total tangent, but like there's a lot of information coming out now about how bad stuff in plastics for us to consume are. Like it just, plastics gets into our cells and our blood and causes a lot of bad stuff. So, look at this magic Susan puts together. Sparkling coffee with plain Topo Chico, nut pods, and Element chocolate salt. Okay, fun fact, Susan.
Oh, that sounds good.
Fun fact, Susan, about the Element salt. So I mentioned that I'm at this conference this weekend. Tyler Cartwright of Keto Gains is also 1/4 owner of Element Company too. So full circle here, or I don't know, it's a figure 8 because we're not even halfway through the episode yet. But I'm hanging out with one of the co-owners of Element, and chocolate salt is amazing. I love chocolate salt in my coffee every morning. With the club soda, that's like a European or like an Italian version. I know with if you go to real coffee shops, if you get a macchiato, they'll give you a little glass of club soda on the side as well too. So
I would love to hear from Susan, but I also want to hear from Carole. What are these nut pods? I've never heard of these nut pods before. What are those?
So it's a terrible name. Whoever is in the marketing department for this company, But it's a non-dairy creamer that's low fat, low carb. Basically, they usually have no carb, and they don't have any sweeteners in them. So there are a bunch of different flavors, but no sweeteners. So they've got like vanilla and around the holidays, like last year I saw like cotton candy. They've got like a caramel.
Fun.
They've got, and so if you're trying to avoid all sweeteners, it's a nice way to have like lower calorie. They're thick, so they're kind of like cream, but not as much calories as real cream. And
my nut pods are pretty thick too, so I understand. I understand.
Right? The name nut pods for like a creamy liquid that you pour out of a jug, like it's just.
I'm sure it's white and sticky as well. That's great. That's wonderful. I love it.
I don't know if they're gonna change that name eventually, but it's odd. Yeah.
I actually saw an article. They actually are changing the name pretty soon to penis juice. So it's a little better than nut pods.
Oh my gosh. Let me see. There's another product that blows my mind. I'm going to see if I can find it really quickly without getting.
Yeah, go for it. Well, I like the concept.
That is not.
Nut pods in Google, probably not the best.
No. Oh my God. This is not the images I wanted to see. That there's this milk. Okay. I realize that it's. Oh, okay. I'm Googling what the label looks like to me, but that is not what it really is. Okay.
I got to check this out though, only because I have a huge sweet tooth, or I had a huge sweet tooth.
Okay.
And I feel like it was so difficult to, whenever you get that little craving, 9 times out of 10, I'll just be like, whatever, I'm not going to have any sugar. It's okay. But every once in a while you want something and you feel so guilty if you have a cookie or if you have a brownie or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, what are the things that you can really like latch onto sweet wise that are guilt-free, or at least minimally, you know what I mean, guilty?
Okay. Speaking of poorly named products, this is another one. Let's see. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yes.
You can see that, right?
Ripple.
Right. But what does it look like?
From far away, it looks like nipple, but
right.
you know
so
what?
I was
Googling.
I was Google. Don't do this, folks. Please don't do this. But I was Googling nipple milk to try to find an image of this product, and that is. I saw some images. I can't take back. My brain is ruined now. Anyways,
to be fair, that was actually my first ever modeling gig. So thank you for supporting. It was for Nipple Milk. Just take out the hairs. Just take out the hairs. I guarantee you, it's a good time.
Okay. All right. I saw something I didn't. No. Okay. Anyways, this is the time I should actually introduce Erik to everybody.
20 minutes in.
Yeah, his modeling gigs he's so famous for and his multiple degrees. So Erik is a stand-up comedian. I don't know if you can tell how hilarious he is. Should be obvious right now, but I met him the beginning of 2020. My comedy production company in the Seattle area, we moved to some virtual events. My co-producer, Derek Wolf, knew Erik from probably Etsy Bravo, right? Out in Pullman, Washington. I don't know. Maybe you don't even remember where you know Derek. But
I actually have a crazy Derek meeting story that I will share later.
Okay. He recommended Erik to come on to our virtual events. And we were so lucky to have him because Erik is actually kind of a big deal in comedy and is pretty booked.
I'm just a person.
And you've been on TV. I've seen, game shows and stuff, but we got so lucky because at the beginning of everything being shut down, we want to be careful the words we use so we don't flag anything. But, when things were not open very much for comedy, we were lucky because all the comedians didn't have work anymore. They couldn't have their regular gigs. Everything had been canceled. And so we could book some people that were pretty big for, okay, no pay. No pay because we were like, well, we don't even know how to make money at this.
They paid me nipple milk for years. It was great.
Nut pods, and you get a lifetime supply of nut pods and nipple milk. Yeah, so
thank you. Delicious.
Yeah. So I met Erik virtually initially, and I still lived in the Seattle area. You were in LA probably at that time, right?
Yes, correct.
And Derek and I were both in the Seattle area, and so we got to have him on a show. So if you go on my Facebook, you're going to find an episode where Erik is on a comedy show that I produced in the beginning of 2020. Fast forward so I moved to Phoenix, Arizona area, June of I guess it was the same year,
That's been 2020.
2020. Yeah.
Had to
It
been.
must have been the same year. So fast forward like 6 or 7 months later, and I'm at an open mic in downtown Phoenix, and I see this guy.
El Charo.
And I'm El Charo Hipster. It's a coffee shop / bar / restaurant / vegan restaurant / everything. They're trying to be everything. They're a really cool place. And I see this guy, and I'm just like, wow, he kind of looks like this Erik guy that I know, but he's like kind of like half the size of what the guys I saw online. That can't be him because he lives in LA. And then we started chatting, and I think you said, like, are you Carole Freeman?
Yep.
And so just this small world thing that we were in the same place at the same time. So another nice thing of everything shut down in the West Coast, California. But a lot of the California comedians were coming over to Phoenix to be able to get some stage time because things were a little looser in Arizona. And so full circle, I got to meet Erik in person randomly the same night, not the same night, but just a random night at a comedy open mic in Phoenix, Arizona. So now we're going back to virtual a year later, a year and a half at this point. I don't know, probably almost 2 years later. So anyways, that's my long introduction for welcome, Erik, everyone.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. I feel so old. But it was crazy because I remember being like, that has to be Carole Freeman. That has to be Carole. It's Keto Carole. There she is. But we knew each other from Northwest stuff. So just like you were like, he's from LA. He doesn't look the same. It can't be Erik. I was like, Carole's a Seattle lady. She's no way she just hanging out at this, Phoenix mic. And it was crazy how it all worked out. So I want to share quickly how I met Wolf, how I met Derek.
Okay.
So it was wild.
Nobody here will know, but I want to hear the story, so I don't care.
Just for us. If you're tuning in, just bear with me for a minute and 20 seconds.
Okay.
So I was on the road in the Northwest, and I was actually, so when I go on the road and do comedy, I teach a lot of improv. So I'll do improv workshops at colleges, high schools, and I was trying to teach an improv workshop at U of I. So I reached out to U of I, reached out to their improv
what's
team.
U of I?
University of Idaho.
Idaho, okay.
Yeah. So I believe they're in.
They have universities in Idaho?
I know, right? You can only get a degree in potatoes.
I love you, Idaho. I love you, Idaho.
And I hit up their improv team, and I didn't get an email or an email back. And then I think I hit up their activities director, and I was like, "Hey, do you know the improv team person?" And they're like, "Oh, our site's a little behind. We haven't had an improv team in like 3 years." And I'm like, "Oh, great. That, of course, you don't." And they're like, "But the person who used to run it, he lives in Seattle now. So even though you can't really do a improv thing over here, maybe he knows something in Seattle." So I hit up Derek, who was in Seattle, and he was like, "Oh, well, if you're trying to get something by U of I, if that's part of like your run, we can get you over in Pullman." So we actually ended up doing a show in Pullman. Derek had a spot. And I remember it was so crazy because it was like we were going to go here, then we went here, then we ended up in Pullman. And I had a buddy who lived out there. And this guy lived in, no joke, it was the smallest room you could ever picture. A tiny, tiny bedroom.
I think he still does.
Still does. And his name was Matt. And I love Matt to death. And Matt would always put me up.
Okay.
Oh, different guy. But it gets better because Matt, he always put me up whenever I was in the Spokane area. He lived in Spokane. But this time I was traveling with 2 other comics, and Derek came in from Seattle and was like, "Hey, do you have a place you could crash for tonight?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure." So 5 giant men get into this tiny shoebox of a room. We're literally like almost lying on top of one another. We all sleep, get some rest. Derek goes back to Seattle. I don't know where we went. But it went from not knowing Derek super well to literally cuddling with him for an evening. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Oh, you guys are very close friends then. All right. He never
He's
told
great.
me that story.
He's
That's
great.
So great.
I'm the cougar. He's the wolf. Or actually, I'm sorry. You're the cougar. We'll figure it out. There's a cougar involved. He's the wolf. We'll figure it out.
Oh, Derek, if you see this someday, miss you, buddy.
We love you. We love you.
Oh, that's so great. Hey, if you're just joining us, let us know where you're joining from. Give us a comment. Welcome to the show. So glad you're here. Erik, the other cool thing was that when I met you there at El Charo Hipster, because I didn't recognize you because you were half the man you were before.
I
At
was.
least even virtually, I could tell such a difference. Like, you're like, I lost weight. I've been doing low carb. I'm doing keto. So tell us your story. Like, what made you start that? What results? How's it going? You know,
For sure. So there were a couple ways where I lost a lot of weight. I think I really attribute the keto lifestyle 98% of why everything came off. But as you know, when you do comedy, especially on the road, and it was really, really exciting for a few years because the road work was just so constant, you eat horribly. You can't find, just like a quick salad, or let me get some greens, or I have a kitchen, so let me cook something up. It was always, Jack in the Box every day, Carl's Jr. every day. And you're doing, you go to the bar and they give you a couple of beers, you feel a little buzz, and the rest of the comics like, oh, let's go have a fourth meal. Let's have dinner again at midnight, at 1 a.m. And you go to Denny's, or you go to any of these places and you just
it's like Denny's. I've been with comedians who are like, it's time to go to Denny's. It's like, it's 2 a.m.
Exactly. And if you want to eat healthy at Denny's, it's like, oh, the healthy meal over there is bacon and eggs. It's not even a healthy meal. Just the healthiest version of what you can get at Denny's. So when I got off the road, I wasn't eating as bad. It was crazy. I wasn't drinking as much. It was the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, or the crazy time hit, I just ate less because I wasn't out and about and traveling and, drinking as much, anything like that. So that was a huge hit I saw the weight come off very quickly. And I kind of told myself, like,
disruption of your baseline eating habits then.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just a complete like whoop. And I told myself, you know what, I could still eat horribly, or if I'm off the road and eating better, let's really take it seriously. You know what I mean? Like I was doing 50% eating better. Let's go 100%. So around that time, I actually got diagnosed with a high blood pressure. And I'm Filipino, I'm Latino. It's in a lot of my family history. A lot of us have it. But for me, if you need medication, take your medication. I didn't want to be in a place where I had to take high blood pressure pills every day. It wasn't something I wanted to do. And I felt the best way to get around that is to lose the weight, because the weight was the reason why I was, having not the best health issues, or having health issues. So I ended up doing keto very, very religiously for probably about a year. And now I kind of don't like saying I'm keto, because every once in a while, you know what I mean? I might have a carb. I'm not as conscious of it. But, I'll slip back in. That's a thing. Like with keto, you can have a great 3 weeks. And if you have one bad day or 2 bad days in your mind, you're like, what was the 3 weeks for? I was so good for a long time, and one thing throws it all off. So for me, it was very like, I have to keep on it, because I'll feel more regret getting off it or having a cheat day than I would if I, just kept doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. So talk to us then about, so your double cultural heritage about tortillas and rice. Like a lot of people think like, oh, I can't do keto. I can't ever give up those things. What was that like for you? Like, how do you navigate that?
I think the way I really looked at approaching keto was, so I'll preface this with saying, you can have a keto lifestyle and eat great. There's a lot of great food out there. There's a lot of hacks you can do. You don't have to hate eating. But the way I looked at it was kind of like, food doesn't always have to be a celebration. I think when I was pushing 300 pounds, now I'm about, 185, 190. Food was always like, oh, I have to have this. This place has a great bacon cheeseburger with avocado. I have to have that. Oh, this place has a crazy pasta thing. I need to have that. And it's like, yes, you can have your fun days, but food is fuel. You don't need to eat a great meal 4 times a day. You can just, snack on it, have what's healthy, have what's good. And being Filipino and Latino, there are a lot of tortillas. There's a lot of rice. And I think when I was growing up, I was like, there's no way I can have chicken adobo without rice. There's no way I can have a burrito, without a huge tortilla and rice. But you know what? You can still have those flavors. You can still have those beautiful foods. Just cut out the carbs. Instead of a burrito, have a burrito bowl without rice, no beans. Instead of having, a giant thing of deep fried Filipino pork, some lechon or whatever, have it, and just don't eat the whole pig. Have part of the pig, just a couple bites, and don't have rice with it. Like, you can still enjoy your food. Just don't think of it like you have to have this. Like, no, sure, that might add a little extra, but you don't need it. And you can still have a great time just putting it in no carbs.
Oh, that's so true. Like focusing on where the flavor comes from, and you're still eating the part of it that actually has the flavor too. And I so identify with what you're talking about, how your like just your outlook on how food plays a role in your where it used to be like it was food centric. Everywhere you would go is always like, where are we going to eat first? That was the way I was before I changed my eating habits as well. It was like everywhere I would go, the first thought was I would plan out all the places I wanted to go to eat, and everything of a trip was planned about the food.
Amen.
And my first time traveling after changing to low carb keto, ironically, I lived in Seattle. I was traveling to Phoenix, Arizona, and I had the whole trip planned, and it was a day or two before I was leaving, and somebody says like, "Oh my God, are you going to go to this place to eat? And what about this place? Have you thought about this?" And it was I had this huge aha light bulb moment where I was like, I hadn't even thought about where I was going to go eat. And that was the first time in my entire life where like, I just hadn't even thought of food. I was just like, I'll figure it out when I get there. But it was no longer like food was no longer controlling every action and moment. And I wasn't food obsessed anymore. And I'm like, that's freedom.
It is.
And there's so many great keto options down here in the Phoenix area. I mean, have you heard of Taco Spot? I don't know how long it's been since you've been over here, Eric, but Taco Spot. Two locations now.
Tell it to me. Give it to me.
They make they'll make cheese tortillas. So fried cheese in a pan. It's like, all the good flavors on the inside, like you were talking about, but the shell instead of corn tortilla is made with fried cheese. Oh, so you get the crispy
Cheese Louise.
Yeah. Birria, all the other ones. My favorite's the birria because you can't.
Yeah, the dip.
Yes, yeah, and you can get the dip because it's all the fat and stuff of the meat and everything like that. So good.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing.
Shout out to Taco Spot in they have one in Chandler and they have one in Tempe now, and I've it's so great. Yeah. So
well, here's another thing too. I feel like I love Mexican food, and if I go and sit down at midnight and eat a giant burrito, I feel horrible the next day. Or because of all the sugar and carbs in it, I have to like pee like 3 times that night because I just had a bunch of like sugars intake to my system. And now for me, it's like, I love food. I love it. But is it worth feeling how I feel after a big bowl of ice cream or after just rice on rice on rice on rice? Like it makes me pee. It makes me like kind of like tired. It puts me in like a weird funk. Where if I have like, like a good burrito bowl, no carbs, or a good salad with some chicken or steak or whatever you put on it, I feel like a human. I like feeling regular. I used to think the way with my diet habits, everyone just felt bad all the time. You know what I mean? Oh, you wake up feeling annoyed, you eat a big meal and you feel like you need a nap or you feel like groggy. But no, you can feel good if you want to feel good.
Oh, that reminds me of Eric, are you on TikTok? Do you watch TikToks at all?
I'm familiar with the TikToks. I like the TikToks. I have a TikTok with one TikTok. So I'm not in the game, but I like the game.
Go click like and watch Eric's one TikTok here. But there was a video on there, I don't know, a day or two ago I saw by a registered dietitian that was talking about their, diet fads and why they're so bad. And she said that the keto diet is bad because it starves your brain. And that's the whole purpose of a keto diet for epilepsy is it starves your brain. And so if you're starving your brain, can you imagine how much your brain doesn't even function correctly and how low energy you're going to have and how you can't think? And I was just like, you know nothing about this then. You've never tried it yourself, right? Because you noticed that my client this morning, she's about 2 weeks into keto her first time. And she's like, I feel so calm, like my mind is on fire. I have so much energy. I feel so alert and calm. And I'm like, that is the keto magic on your brain. So this registered dietitian saying how your brain is starved on keto is like, you know nothing about what you're talking about. So
I feel such a miraculous, I guess it is a boost of energy, but it's not really necessarily like a boost of energy. It's just the absence of feeling lame. You know what I mean? If I carb it super hard, I need a nap. Or I just don't feel good. Like I need a cup of coffee. You know what I mean? You compensate the feeling of feeling bad with like, let me just get all like hyped up because I'm so sleepy right now. where even though I love coffee and it's great, switching to a keto diet, I haven't had to coffee as much in the afternoon. You know what I mean? Because I'm not like lethargic at 2 o'clock because I just ate, like a giant sandwich.
Yeah, and
Valerie, what's Valerie saying? Oh, go for it.
Valerie's a regular, yeah. Yeah, well, what you're talking about is actually the high carb causes insulin spike that causes all of your blood sugar to be stored in your fat cells, and that's what makes you feel like I'm going to go take a nap because your body is busy storing energy instead of actually releasing it and burning it. And whereas in ketosis, you've got this even blood sugar all the time, so you have access to, you can burn fat for fuel, you can burn ketones for fuel, and so you have this very even energy sources that are coming out all the time, so you don't have those crashes and dips and things like that. So Valerie's always got really funny stuff to say, so I think she's secretly a comedian, even though she's never been one. But she's a friend of mine used to call that overly full and tired feeling after a burrito the meat sweats. And nope, it's the wheat sweats, dude. That's so true. Like, I've seen people are like, oh, I can't eat too much steak because, like, oh yeah, I get the meat sweats afterwards. It's like, you're right. No, it's a potato and the bread that you had with it, and then the dessert and the beer probably that's causing the wheat sweats. I love that, Valerie. That's fun.
I was eating like a king when I was doing a more strict keto diet because I would go to Korean barbecue probably once a week and still shed the weight. It was crazy. Like, people were like, oh, what do you do? It's like, oh, I'm probably once, twice a week. I'll get Korean barbecue. I'm like, how are you not gaining weight? It's nothing but just like meat and whatever. I'm like, well, I don't have rice. I don't have beer. I don't have, the rice paper. Like, I just eat the chicken and the beef or whatever until I feel good. And it was crazy because they were like, how are you losing weight by going to Korean barbecue all the time? It's like, And the same thing, I wouldn't like sweat. I remember before I go to Korean barbecue and I would sweat like crazy because I was having the beer and I was having all the rice and I was having all the potato salad. When you cut those out, you're like, I feel good even though I just ate 2 pounds of brisket. Why does this make sense? So I don't know, but God bless keto. God bless keto. So
good. I'm talking about brisket. It makes me miss Austin, Texas. So I haven't been there.
Oh my God.
In a while.
I feel like when I went to Houston for about 2-3 years ago, and I probably gained 5 pounds in 2 days. It was wild. I had a great time, but it was a party city when it came to food.
So Austin, Texas, are you at Terry Black's or Cooper's barbecue?
You know what? I've only been to Houston.
So you haven't been to Austin?
I haven't had the Austin chains. I haven't had the Dallas-Fort Worth chains. I haven't had, I know in Houston, they had a chain called Papa's. So Papa's Barbecue. Okay. They had Papa Do. They had Papa something else. So Papa's was big. They had really good food. And then I forgot where we went, but I was asking everyone, where's the best barbecue? And they referred me over to a gas station. So I get to the gas station, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Is it a gas station? I get in there. Giant line, best barbecue I've ever had. I totally forgot the name, but I want to hear about these Austin spots. What's your favorite of the two?
Well, Terry Black's is iconic, and it's an hour wait just to get inside.
Jeez Louise.
And the beef rib is like blows your mind.
Love beef ribs. Right? Love like beef ribs. My
giant,
favorite.
like the bone is the size of my arm, and it's like basically an entire pot roast on this beef rib. It costs like $47, I think, to get one.
Jeez Louise.
Mind blowing because everything's by the pound, right? Like the beef rib, amazing. It's worth the wait. In the summer, it's 97 and 3,000% humidity. You're just sweating the entire time waiting outside to get in. It's like a Disneyland ride, the line to get into Terry Black's, and the smoke is billowing out of the restaurant the whole time you get inside, and they have Topo Chico there, Susan, if you're looking to go. Yeah, the beef rib, I don't know what else. They have all the other things, but the meats.
Do they have nut sacks though? Or not nut sacks. What were they called? Nut holders?
Nut pods? No.
Do they have
nut
pods? Oh, just making sure.
No, only real protein sources at this place. So yeah, I mean, Terry Black's is iconic there. Cooper's also is, I think it's not as well known, but also it's probably one of the ones the more locals are going to go to. I know there's other ones there, but those are the two that I've been to. A million. So absolutely, yeah. So
you've done comedy in Vegas, right? Any comedy in Vegas?
Let's see. Wait, have I? Oh my gosh.
You had to if you're all over.
I
You do a lot of stuff.
I'm like, I have not. I have not done in Vegas, but I met Brett Ernst in Vegas, and he gave me a guest spot here in Phoenix at Stand Up Live. So not yet.
Adjacent.
Yeah. I have an offer. There's a barbecue place that's in Vegas.
Yes, Rick's
Wednesday
Rollin'
one.
Smoke Barbecue.
Yeah. I have an invitation that I can go next time I'm there. So in December, actually, 17th, 18th, I'll be there. But see, that's not a Wednesday. I'd have to go a little bit earlier. Anyways, so
the guy who runs it, Steve. Steve is the best. He's a super great guy. He's a wonderful producer. He runs a super, super good show. But my favorite, here's the thing. As comics, we travel, we go different places, and we're excited for the comedy. We're excited for a fun show, a good audience, a nice high off that. When I do Steve's show, I'm excited for the comedy, but I'm really excited for the barbecue. Because what they do is they have I think it's like $40, all you can eat for an hour, anything on the menu. And you can get like 10 desserts, you can get all the sides, whatever you want, they will give it to you as long as you eat it within that hour. And everyone's like, well, obviously, you're going to get some chicken, some pulled pork, some brisket, whatever. I don't do that. I go there, I get the all you can eat, and I order 3 beef ribs off the top. I don't want brisket. I don't want chicken. Give me just all the beef ribs. That's all I want. I love it.
That's smart. You're getting your money's worth then. That's
well, here's the thing. A beef rib over there, and the prices might be different now, but I remember the beef rib was like $10, and it's well worth it $10. It's the best $10 you spend on beef rib. Yeah. But if it's 40, 45 for all you can eat, I'm going to have more than 4 beef ribs. So just give me the all you can eat and only bring the beef ribs. I'm going to take a nap in the corner afterwards. No meat sweats, but maybe just a quick belly rub. That's all I need.
So you're talking about the one, he only has a location in Vegas, right?
So I believe
they're one in LA?
They're only in Vegas, but I want to say there's 2. There might be 2 Rollin' Smokes. The one the show's at shares the parking lot with the Pawn Stars pawn shop. So it's kind of cool because you see it and it's fun.
Well, I was going to say, the nice thing about Rick's is downstairs, there's an elevator. If you eat, you just take the elevator downstairs. And did I lose Eric? Are you still here? Oh, is it my internet?
I see you. Can you see me? Hello?
Okay. No, I can hear you, Sal.
All right,
you take the elevator down from Rick's. You eat too much barbecue up there. You just take the elevator down. You're good then. So
you're A-okay. No stairs for me. Okay, I also love
Susan lived in Austin. You said Blacks BBQ. So is Blacks different than Terry Blacks, or are you saying Terry Blacks is the place? So because 4th Street, well, we'll see what she says here. So
horrible would it be if there was Terry Blacks BBQ, Blacks BBQ, Terry's BBQ, Terry's BBQ, T Blacks, TBs? They just have variations.
Why would they not? If you're a marketing genius, that's what you would do. They've done that here in Phoenix with the Mexican restaurants, right? So they've got Filiberto's, Julio Berto's. There's like 10 different versions of this Berto's.
All the Berto's.
Same thing, right? So one was the original. I don't know which one was the original, but they were so popular, they did all these spin-offs of it. That's a really fun random story about like just naming something after a popular name. So if you want to be the famous comedian, you should be Erik Escobar. Then you could just piggyback on that.
We can have Eric with a C, Escobar.
Right.
We can have Erik Esco is going up. E-bar, E squared.
Okay, so Susan's saying Terry Blacks is where it's at. Yeah.
Tasty.
Susan, how did you start a second job to afford Terry Black's barbecue? Did you do the beef ribs? Like what was your favorite cut of meat there? So Eric, do you know Joe Rogan? You're gonna go out and hang out with him and you could go, then you got an excuse to go to Austin. So
you know what? I'll he's on my speed dial. Let me hit him up after the podcast, see what's going on. We'll get some barbecue. I have a lot of love for my time when I was in Houston. I loved going to Texas. I loved the food. Everyone I met was super cool, super nice, but I haven't been back in years. And of all the states to either go back to or new states to go to, Texas is high on the list because I worked there twice, but I worked there before I was getting tattoos in every state. So I need to go back to Texas and get a Texas tattoo. Maybe it'll be Terry Black beef rib. Just one beef rib right on my arm. It'll be great.
Susan says she's ribs all day long. Now, again, how did you finance your rib addiction? Erik, I actually have a really, really, really important question for you right now. I'm wanting to know where did you steal that elementary school photo background that you have behind you?
So I share this every once in a while. This is great. So when COVID first when the thing started, obviously I was super grateful because I was doing a bunch of Zoom shows, got to do yours, did a couple other ones, but I needed to have a green screen. I wanted a green screen so I could have, because everyone had the cool virtual background with their Venmos, their Instagram handles. So I went out and money was tight. As you said, we weren't getting a lot of gigs. So I bought some green spray paint to make a green screen, but I only had enough money to buy enough spray paint for a splotchy wall that doesn't cover anything else. I literally just had enough spray paint just to get the exact amount. If I push this a little back, you're going to see all the white. It was not the best move. I should have just sprung for the other spray paint.
Oh my gosh, you guys, throw Erik some money in his Venmo so he can afford to buy another spray can. Is it green? It looks blue to me. Is it green?
It's teal-esque.
Okay,
teal-esque. Okay. I remember being like, this looks green, spraying it. Not green, but I already committed.
Does it work for green screen, or does it need to be more green than that?
This works pretty well. I feel like with the new StreamYard technology, Zoom technology, all the virtual platforms, they're pretty good where if you have stuff in the background, you can still do a virtual background. Okay. But I like if it can be a solid color as much as possible, boom, let's just do that.
I'm dying here. So I asked Susan how she could afford to eat ribs all day long in Austin, Texas at Terry Black's. Look at her answer.
Lots of boyfriends.
For those of you listening, lots of boyfriends. That's, I mean, if you're going to finance a ribs.
That's how I afford my nut pods. All my boyfriends nut pods.
I'll bet the boyfriend Susan would say it was totally worth it. So they probably feel like they got the better end of the deal. So
so Carole, this is what I would love to do. We're talking a lot of barbecue, we're talking a lot of food. Mm-hmm. I think can I introduce a little game? Can we play a little game?
Sure. I also have to get to our topic of stress. So yes,
for sure.
What's your game too, though?
Game.
We talked about we don't have any hard outs, so we can keep chatting. What's the game?
This is what I would like. I would like to start Erik and Carole's keto restaurant. Let's each throw in an app, an entree.
Okay.
No dessert. No, just an app and an entree. So you do an app, I do an app. You do an entree, I do an entree, and then we'll team together and create our own dessert. How about that?
So live right now, we're doing restaurant planning. Is that what you're proposing?
We are. Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
Super fun. Okay. Because I'm in a very barbecue mood right now. Do you want to start?
Yeah. Okay. So one of my starter courses would be a caprese salad.
Beautiful.
Fresh buffalo mozzarella. Whatever, some local seasonal fresh, maybe heirloom tomatoes. Bariani olive oil. I'm very picky about my olive oil. That's a very Italian. I buy olive oil that's shipped in. Bariani olive oil. Some fresh cracked sea salt and pepper, and some fresh basil on here. So you got the foodie nerdies going on. Okay, so that's my starter course.
I love it. I want to go with the keto vibe. So I would do maybe I don't want to do a Brussels sprout, but maybe if we did some type of crispy sauteed spinach, a little pancetta, a little bit of pork, maybe a little bit of a balsamic drizzle. I'm a goat cheese guy till I die. You know what I mean? So maybe just some type of creamy cheese. So we got a crispy green, little bit of pork, a lot of pork, a little bit of goat cheese, little balsamic, maybe some cherry tomatoes just to add color. Boom. Delicious.
I don't remember what type of cuisine does this, but the fried basil on top,
oh yeah.
I'll put that on mine. So my caprese is not fresh basil, but fried basil on top.
Perfect. I'm also gonna throw in a little red pepper, a little bit of red pepper flakes, maybe even a red pepper or a hot olive oil of some sort. Boom, boom, boom.
Let's see if we can get a sponsor for our new restaurant.
We
Actually,
only need 50 grand. 50 grand. That's it.
speaking of this, I forgot the show actually has a sponsor. It's brand new, so I got to make sure I mention it.
Go for it. Go.
Notes. I'm going to put this in my notes here. Mention sponsor. So Keto Spot, keto-spot.com is a new website. They're providing the transcripts for my shows now. So if you're reading the transcript on YouTube or on my blog later on, that's who's providing that. And so thank you very much for your support. So mention the sponsor on the show. I'm putting that in my outline here. Thank you very much for Keto Spot. They are providing all kinds of keto content on there. So anyways, speaking of sponsors, that's who's providing transcripts for the show. But if anyone wants to sponsor our new restaurant concept, okay, so we've got Sase from Italy. Hello, welcome to the show. I lost Eric. I hope he's going to come back. I don't know what happened here. But we're in the middle of playing a game about what are we going to have as our restaurant. So, hey, you know what? This might be a good time that I can go into the teaching topic. For some reason, technology is not Eric's friend right now, but lost. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I don't know what happened. Hello.
You're back. You're back. I was starting to go into my teaching topic. But you're back. So we're going to continue the restaurant game. So we've got Sase. I don't know how to, I'm not Italian, so I don't know. But we've got an Italian viewer right now. So welcome to the show. He looks like he could be your brother. Is he your Italian brother there, Eric? Can you? That's actually
my twin. It's my twin. Yeah.
I thanks for inviting him to the show. Okay, so next we're moving on to entrees. Is that?
Yes, you get an entree. I get an entree. Ooh,
okay.
What's yours?
Oh, okay. Okay. Just comfy. There's a restaurant actually here that does them, and I think they're chicken drumettes that they like whittle down like the French style. You know how they like.
Is it where you like cut the top and then you like pull it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like a little drumstick.
Lollipops, so like chicken lollipop things, like comfy. I'll just do that with a cauliflower puree. So and how about a fresh herbed butter drizzle on it? How about that?
Ooh, I love it. I actually just had some of those chicken lollipops a couple weeks ago. And
Chow from Sase. Can you help us know how to pronounce your name? Sase? I'm guessing, I don't know how to say that, but please let me know.
Write it phonetically right in there and we'll get it.
We're American. We don't know how to say anything correctly. Eric ran off to second check on his nut pods. Yes, Valerie's
quick shave.
What you're doing.
Quick shave. It's great. For mine, I was also going to do a chicken thing. We're going to double up on the chicken. I think it's okay. I would love to do like a southern fried chicken salad, but I remember having a keto fried chicken, where instead of flour, they cooked it in chicharrones, in like pork skins.
Yes, and if you blend the chicharrones with a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. So that's going to be the chicken on top of the salad. Regular salad, nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Maybe a little bit of corn, a little tomato. I'm not the biggest black olive guy. Maybe we can throw that in. But all the fun southern salad stuff. But the star, some chicharron Parmesan fried chicken. That's what I want to talk about.
And interestingly, people note we haven't even mentioned bacon at all. Like everyone thinks everyone has to be about bacon in the keto space, but
I was gonna say bacon with my appetizer, but I thought I'd level up and do like the pancetta. You know what I mean? It's like sounds fancier.
I had a couple of days ago at Steakhouse here, meeting up with Keto Gains Element guy and the doctor. They had a pork belly appetizer on there as well.
Love pork belly.
Fried pork belly, little slab of that was good too. But that's an obvious one, right? So
for sure.
What was the assignment? Were you supposed to do 2 entrees and you said no dessert, or what was the other?
Let's do this. We don't need to talk about dessert. I'm down to throw another entree in there if you want to throw another entree in there.
If you've got one. I don't I got to think about it because I want to do something original, right? Like unexpected.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think I can go with my entree. So my entree would be almost kind of like a little bit of a small plates tapas vibe. So I'm kind of cheating because I'm throwing in a couple other ones. But there's this great Filipino dish called Sisig, Sisig. And Sisig originally, back in the olden days, was it was almost like kind of like a chunky mango salsa, or like a fruits and stuff like that, a little bit of vinegar. But when the Spaniards came in, they actually all the Filipinos were throwing away the pig heads. So they would use the pig head, cut it up, chop it up, and almost make like a spicy, chunky, sizzly, fajita-y, just like chopped meat and salsa-y dish. Little tomato, little onion. So I would want to do like a sisig 3 ways. So it's still keto.
Ooh.
One would be traditional. So it'd be just, pork, maybe a little onion, a little garlic, fried up kind of in your little steam pan. The next one, let's go with a maybe we can go with a more like spicy, vinegary sisig. Maybe throw in like some pineapple or some type of acidity in there. So we got a spicy one. And then the third one, I would say, let's not even do pork. Let's go off the map. So we got 2 pork ones. Let's do maybe like a beef one, like almost like a steak fajita, but in that Filipino style.
You like fly in Terry Black's beef ribs for your restaurant.
Oh my God, cut it off, chop it up. I have to call my boyfriend to see if he can afford to send me some. But I'll sell a couple of my nut pods. We'll figure it out. But yeah, that's mine. So like a trio of Filipino sisig done different ways, no carbs, a lot of grease, very delicious.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to cheat a little bit. So there's a company, Cena Seafoods, that sent me a gift box of Alaskan fish.
Oh,
and
nice.
One of their recipes is for halibut that's in this like kind of like a it's thicker than a soup, but more like a puree type of thing.
Oh, word. Okay.
So I don't know what it's called, but like halibut in some kind of a dill soupy puree
dill.
Something.
I love dill. So no one uses it. Dill is the best. Oh, it's great.
The recipe. So actually she invited me to redo the recipe and she'll post it on her blog. So this will be coming. Comment below if you want to copy this blog when it comes out. But basically I'm going to redo the recipe because she's got it with Alaskan dill, some other things, and then potatoes as the base to make like this soup, like a pureed chowder type of thing. But I'm going to do cauliflower instead. So it'll be like a delicious halibut with some kind of yummy fat on it. And then the base that'll be in like, one of those bowls in the restaurant that's really shallow.
Yeah, it's like bowl and then like whoop, it has the little like concave.
It'll be like a dill cauliflower puree that's going to be the base, the stuff. I don't know. So that would be my second kind of half cheaty.
No, restaurant. I love it. I'm just popping because you said dill. I love dill.
This is fun. So Valerie's saying that I cannot tell you how many people think that keto consists of like Velveeta wrapped hot dogs all day long. How did you know what I ate for lunch, Valerie? I love hearing you two talk about all the yummy keto options, right? So obviously we're both foodies. I can tell Erik would not be even proposing this challenger game. I don't know if you know this about me, Erik, but the school that I got my degrees at, they had a full culinary arts program as well. So
no way.
Part of where I learned all this stuff is at Bastyr University. Yeah. So I TA'd, I was the teacher's assistant, not the teacher's pet. Those are different things. I was a teacher's assistant. So I actually have pretty good culinary background. So this is a fun challenge. But you're right, Valerie, like so many people think of it, but I'll admit I've had Velveeta wrapped hot dogs. That's delicious.
They're great. Real quick before we get into stress, have you heard of One World in Seattle?
What is it?
Over in One World?
No.
It's in Capitol Hill over in Seattle.
I've heard of Capitol Hill, yeah.
So it is, I want to say it's the culinary school at, I think it's Seattle Community College.
Okay.
And it's crazy because they only have a lunch service, but all the culinary students make you amazing, delicious food for this lunch service. And I think it's even like people who like need like more like on the job training. They teach them how to be servers, how to be bussers, how to be hosts, stuff like that. If they haven't a job before, and it's crazy because you can get like this amazing meal for $10, like a $40 Woo! For nothing. Check out One World. It's great.
There's another one. I'm like trying to figure out how I even know about this, but I think it's like in North Seattle, the community college there. And I think I know about it because before I was trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with my life. I applied to be an instructor at that college. Doesn't pay very well, but I think there's another one that's in a different neighborhood in Seattle that's a very similar thing where you can get some really delicious, high quality food because it's the students that are preparing it. So
yeah, at least you can afford One World with that job. At least you can afford that because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh man, going from deliciousness to
I know. I have to deliver because I promised everybody at the beginning of the episode. This episode is about stress management, relaxation. So we got to go there too. If you're just joining us right now, like give us a comment, let us know where you're coming from. So we've got New York, we've got Chicago, we've got Italy. We've pretty much covered the whole planet. We got to get somebody from Antarctica. I have yet to have anybody join us from Antarctica. I didn't mention it earlier too, but this show has been charting. We're like top 50 in Poland and Greece.
Oh,
I love the fact Greece is ironic that like Greece on a keto show, like they love us in Greece. So anyway, so Italy, we've hit Italy. That's the first time. Actually last week. So a lot of times because of the time difference, right? I'll get email notifications that people watch the show maybe like 12 hours later. Last week we had somebody that reported in that she was in Indonesia watching us later. So we'll have people all over. Hello, planet. Hello. Welcome to the show. But hey, we got to get to this has been so fun, but I have to deliver. I have to deliver the promise. Stress and ketosis, everyone. Let me know. So this is actually the most common reason that people will fall off of keto is that they're doing really, really well. Something stressful happens in their life. And then our brain is just wired to go back to the eating habits that we've had the most of our life. So it's normal if you've experienced that. It's frustrating. It can be really hard to get back on track. And this topic is really relevant now because for a lot of people in around the world, but also in the US, is we're going into the holiday season. And for a lot of people, that's the most stressful time of the year ever. Family, expenses, a lot of other reasons that are going on in the world. But this can be the time where people are under a lot of stress. And this doesn't have to be the time where you throw in the towel and give up all your healthy eating habits and all the progress that you've made. So this feels like a boring transition after all the fun we've been having here too, but it's so important. It is so important. Erik's gonna make it fun. That's why I have him here.
Don't put that stress on me. I'm getting really stressed out with all this pressure on me, Carole.
You just kick yourself out of ketosis with all that stress I just laid on you, right? Yeah. A little bit of background understanding what happens is like so our body kind of has, you can think of it as two primary states that we're in. We're either in the I'm going to do it on this side, the stress response, which is the fight or flight, right? We're all like the saber-toothed tiger's going to eat us. Our boss is going to fire us. You're about to go on stage in front of Erik's. What's the biggest crowd you've performed in front of?
Ooh, probably around 2000, I would
2000,
say.
okay.
2000
You're about to step on that stage in a theater, 2,000 people in the audience. Stress. That's a stress response, right? When your body's in that mode, it is not digesting anything. It is meant to be like this occasional blip that we go through where something really is really stressful. It's a temporary. I did this training, and so it's backwards on StreamYard because it's like I'm raising my right hand, but it's on the left side, so it's throwing me off. Something really stressful happens momentarily, and then we recover from that, and then we go back into the other state, which is rest and digest. And it's also the state we're in where we're healing and our immune system works. So again, because this is a temporary thing that's supposed to happen occasionally, it shuts off most processes in the body to respond to this threat that could kill us. Now, stepping on stage in front of 2,000 people never killed anyone. I don't think so. But
I'll do some research.
Right. But it feels like that level of intensity. And so it's meant to be this short-term thing. And then we just go right back into this, everything's okay in the world. We're going to go back to resting. We're digesting our food. Our immune system's working. We're healing. All's good in the world, right? So most of the time, our bodies are designed to be in this state most of the time. But what is modern world living? We're constantly in the stress state. We're always in this stress state. The reason that this is not healthy for us is not only is it suppressing immune function, which that word is not very popular right now. We might not have any more viewers here. But it also suppresses health and renewal, and also weight loss, fat loss. So a lot of people want to be able to maximize their weight loss, fat loss. Those stress hormones also turn on cortisol and suppress a lot of our ability to burn fat as well. This state also raises blood sugar. The stress response is also keeping your blood sugar nice and high because your body's like, okay, we need all the resources possible to fight the saber-toothed tiger, to survive this stage of 2,000 people, hoping they laugh at us. So blood sugar elevates as well, which also suppresses ketosis. So hopefully you can see why this state should be something that you're only temporarily in, and you want to come back into the rest and digest state as quickly as possible. So, there's a couple of phrases: stress management, relaxation. Which one sounds better? They're kind of the same thing. I like relaxation training because it sounds more relaxing than let's do some stress management. There's a lot of negative connotations with stress management as well. I used to think it meant like, well, I guess I got to meditate an hour a day. Like that's the only option. Who has time for an hour of meditation a day? Plus, let's be honest, meditation's boring. It's boring, right? I don't know. If you love meditation, I'm not crapping on that or anything like that. If you're good at it, that's great. But
I'm love meditation.
I'm a
transcendental meditation guy.
You are?
I'm like 20 minutes a day max. People who are like, oh, I meditated for an hour and a half. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I feel at 20, I'm like, that was good. Go about my day. I can't go longer than that.
20 minutes a day. That's amazing. So, and also I'm here to give you some techniques actually that are so quick and easy. No training. It doesn't even take 20 minutes a day, but if you can work up to Erik's level, maybe that's part of the reason why you've been able to shed so much weight and keep it off is that you've got
I'm in my chiller zone.
You've got your relaxation training going. Yes. So very, very important healthiness overall for being able to keep your weight off. So good for you. Meditation. All right. There's a reason I had you. It's all synergy coming on.
We're the yin and the yang.
Yes. So stress is bad. Okay. Stress is bad. Should be something temporary. In part of your relaxation training, your stress management assessment protocol, you kind of want to do a little inventory. There are stressful things in your life that you can change and control. There's stress that you cannot. So you want to get honest with yourself and list off all the things that are causing you stress in your life. And are they something you could change? Could you quit your job? Could you start a new job? Could you change what time you go to work? Could you, I don't know, maybe stop rescuing kittens with 3 legs and have them stay up all night to feed them? Some people have an affinity for a constant level of stress and chaos. That's a whole other topic, but good for you if you rescue those. I love animals myself, but that's just an extreme example of if you find yourself, you're always like, everything's so great and relaxing. Let's go adopt a puppy. Valerie sharing this hits home for me. I've worn a continuous glucose monitor in the past and have experienced a 10-point spike in blood glucose just from having a stressful work meeting. So true. Yes, that's that. Wait, this side. Stress response, your body is so smart. It's just like, we're going to have to fight something off in this work meeting. We better get more blood glucose in place so that we can actually have the fuel to do it. So, so true. So honestly, analyze what can you do in your life to change and reduce stress. I think, Erik, not that you wanted to go on the road less, that wasn't your choice, but that was something that did reduce stress when you were
100%.
able to stay home more. So doing your meditation to now that you're able to go out and go on the road again. So how do you incorporate that when you are on the road? How do you maintain your relaxation training when you're doing really stressful road work?
So I do a type of meditation. They call it TM, Transcendental Meditation, and it's supposed to be, if you're killing it, if you do it twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. But it's intended to only do roughly around 20 minutes at a time. And I remember hearing, like, if you don't have 20 minutes to meditate and zen out, feel better about yourself, put yourself in a good headspace, you're too busy. And I'm like, that's kind of a crazy statement, because I'll wake up, and from waking up to right before I go to sleep, I'll be like, ah, all over.
Yeah.
And like finding 20 minutes just to get in a less stressful headspace, it's worth it to carve out, get up 20 minutes earlier. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely easier said than done, but when you see the benefits, you feel great, and you're like, oh, well, I'm not stressed out all day, or I'm not crazy.
I'll admit, I could give up 20 minutes of TikTok a day, probably.
I could give up about 2 hours of Instagram a day, but I don't. I'm for scroll. I also feel like, and this is kind of going off what you were saying earlier, just about like when you're on the road, you're definitely eating a lot. You're not super good. So for me, drink a lot of water. Just drink a lot of water. I think that's definitely part of like a healthier lifestyle, a better mental and just like physical lifestyle. Because a lot of times I thought I was hungry. I'd be like, I'm starving. I need to eat something that I would eat like a McDouble or a bunch of fries or something like that. When really I was just thirsty. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, well, I had a glass of water and now I'm not stressed out or weird. Like, hydrate. I think it's the big thing is everything has to be intentional. You can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna go and travel and not plan anything out. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, set that alarm to wake up a little early. You know, and bring your hydro flask, bring some extra water. When you are stressed out, when I'm stressed out, I eat, but I eat whatever's around me. So I plan ahead instead of bringing a bag of chips and, you know, ice cream or candy. Like, no, I'll travel, you know, with some vegetables that it will hold, maybe some chicharrones, you know, things that have like minimal carbs in them, you know, some maybe nuts, anything like that. Like, if you're going to stress eat, at least put yourself in a situation where you're stress eating better things than, you know what I mean? Like Jack in the Box.
You traveled with ice cream? That's hardcore. Like dry ice and all that kind of stuff. No,
well, this is what I did. I would go and get super thirsty late at night after a show. So I'd pick up like a gallon of water, a liter from 7-Eleven, and you pass by that little ice cream freezer section. You're like, I can get a Choco Taco. I'm fine. I can get, you know, 4 pints of Ben and Jerry's. Oh, I should probably go home now. This is horrible.
So Susan also, she says, I love meditation. I get 20 minutes of Headspace a night. So that's an app for those of you who don't know. Headspace, another one that's really popular is called Calm, C-A-L-M. That's another one. If you need a little guided, I'm somebody that would do well with somebody guiding me into that relaxation. Erik's killing it. So he just uses himself to guide himself into that. So process as well.
I literally record my meditation and then just play it back because I am so egotistical. I love my voice. No, I don't. That was
You're meditating right now. You're amazing. You're killing it on the stage in front of 2,000 people. Next step, 10,000 people.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm going to share some transcendental meditation, Headspace, Calm apps. I'm going to share now 3 really easy techniques that anyone can do. They don't take 20 minutes. Actually, most of these are a 1-minute thing. So if you're like, I don't have time, I'm too busy, it's too hard, my mind wanders, this is for you. 3 simple little 1-minute techniques to reduce stress. The cool thing about this, the stress response versus the rest and digest, is that it's kind of like a light switch and you can actually turn it off immediately. And so that's why these techniques can be so powerful, is that you don't have to spend, 20 minutes is great and you're going to get a lot more benefits from that. You don't have to do, it's not a difference of like 0 or 20 minutes. You can do these 1-minute things as like gateway relaxation techniques so that you can start to learn to be more relaxed. So the way to combat the things that are stressful that you have no control over is to train your body to be relaxed despite the stressors going on. So who's ready? Who's ready to learn 3 1-minute stress relaxation, stress management techniques, relaxation techniques? So one of them, there's actually a TED talk about this. I call it the victory pose. I never remember what she calls it, but and the lady, somebody in the comments has got to tell me who her name is because I always forget who it is. But there's a TED talk about this, and this lady noticed that around the world, whenever anyone won a race or anything, they put their arms up. Yay, I just won. Imagine somebody who's running a race and they just won. Yay, I won. So I think of it as the victory pose, right? You won something. So she wanted to find out why. Why is this a thing that around, no matter what culture you're in, this is something people just do. So she studied and found that holding your arms in that position for 1 minute decreased your stress hormones by 30%. Dramatic,
Whoa.
huge difference. So easy. Look, Erik just did it and he just learned how to do it. We all are born knowing how to do this, actually. So easy. So anytime Valerie going into your work meeting or anyone else who's having before you go on stage in front of your 10,000 people, I'm just going to set that intention now because that's going to be your next theater. You just stand backstage, arms up. I will do this actually. I'm trying to think, what's the biggest crowd I've been in front of? Probably around 300.
Oh yeah. Good packed club.
So, yeah. So I do that as well. If I can get some where nobody sees me backstage, I will walk around and put my arms up like that. And you can feel, and if you hold your arms up now, everyone who's watching right now, just hold your arms up. For those of you that aren't watching, we're actually holding our hands up straight above us like we just won a race. You can feel like when you put your arms down, you can feel the tingles of everything just kind of like calming down and relaxing in your whole body. So this is clinically proven to reduce stress. So that's a quick, easy one. Anytime you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, or anytime you know that you're going into something that like usually causes you a lot of anxiety or stress, do the victory pose. Quick and easy, right? Give me a yes in the comments if you love it, if you just did it. Another one, number 2, is something I call taking a mental vacation. Now, for those of you that don't know, I have a certification in clinical hypnotherapy. It's not something I do a lot of, but there's some really, really easy techniques. If you don't like the word hypnosis, this is an imagery, a guided imagery, a visualization. It's the same thing, but without with 50% less whatever that some people get hung up on about the word. But so the cool thing about our body is that it can't tell the difference between what's actually happening and what we're imagining is happening. So on the stress side of it, if we're worried about something that might happen, like this is where anxiety comes in, is we're future casting the worst possible scenario outcome. So if we're imagining negative stuff happening, we're anxious. Our body is in that anxiety is actually the stress response. And we're worried about the worst case scenario. They're going to laugh at me. Maybe Erik's scenario on stage with 2,000 people. They're never going to laugh at me. They're going to hate me. They'll never ask me back. This headliner, maybe you were the headliner. This booker's never going to have me come back. All that stuff is like future casting anxiety. Your body is reacting as if all of that is true that you're imagining in that moment. So the opposite side, we can do exactly the same and tell our body that really good stuff is happening right now. So all of you right now, give me a comment. I'm going to ask Erik as well. Where is your favorite place to be on vacation? Where is it that you're the most relaxed? You're in love with life and yourself. Everything's great.
I'm a huge theme park guy. Theme park guy.
Okay.
And I would say
arms up roller coaster.
Oh, I feel great. Victory pose. Oh, no! I would say like being at Disneyland, sitting on a bench on Main Street, you know what I mean? Just like people watching, be around that energy. Everyone's so happy. Something like that would be perfect for me. So just like pretending I'm on Main Street, just visualizing that, taking that fun in. That would be mine.
Perfect. I'm a big beach vacation, tropical location. I don't know. I've never been there, but like Fiji or Bahamas or something like that would be for mine. We'll see what everyone else says is there. So the trick to doing a guided imagery, to tricking your body into thinking you're actually in that place right now, is to bring in all of your senses. And so I'm going to leave out the taste part because a lot of times our vacation imagery is about eating junk food or something. So we're going to leave that one out. So the trick is, Eric, you can do this
there's
right now.
junk food at Disneyland? Are you saying there's junk
I
food
think
at
that's
theme
all
parks?
they have, actually.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So you're going to go to Main Street Disneyland on your park bench. I'm going to go sit in Fiji. So just imagine what it looks like there. All the colors, the shapes, the sights of everything around you. What does it sound like? For me, I'm hearing the gentle waves. You're hearing the bustling children, maybe the characters. I don't know.
Yeah, the excitement of everyone. Let's go here. Let's go there. The cheerful music they have.
The people sweeping the street and cleaning up the garbage every moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what do you smell? Crisp, clean air, a little bit of mist. I don't know, beachiness. What are you smelling, Eric?
A little bit of popcorn, but I'm not tempted. I am not tempted. Smelling it, but it's not tempted.
And then what do you physically feel? What's the temperature on your skin? Maybe like for you, what do you feel under your butt? You can feel the bench.
Yeah.
Maybe I feel the sand in my toes.
There's a specific curvature to like the Disneyland benches that I could literally feel. Like you're talking about, it literally takes you there. And then, for me, when I picture Disneyland, it's not necessarily during the day, but it's like at night, you got a cool breeze, a warm kind of LA light or LA night. I'm already feeling better. Don't need to meditate today. This is great. Yeah.
And so you imagine so I recommend for my clients that they print out a photo of the place that is their mental vacation place.
I like that.
Put it on your desk, put it on your computer or someplace in your car. And so this is something you can do any place, anywhere. Don't do it while you're driving, maybe when you're parked or stopped, but you can it's free. You don't have to book any tickets. You're completely safe of anything that's going on in the world right now, but you can fly without any ticket. You can go anywhere you want in the moment, and your body will react as if you're right there, right then. You just activated your relaxation there. So Valerie's saying she loves the mountains, trees, trail, waterfalls, cabin. Yes, that's very relaxing. Very Northwestern, reminds me of. She also told us that when we're doing our victory pose, we looked very victorious and we win any flavor nut pods that we like.
Perfect.
Eric, if you ever try them, you got to tell us your favorite flavor.
Oh, I will. I will not hold back. I will send in all the emails.
Excellent.
It'll be great.
All right. I've got one final 1 minute relaxation technique that anyone can do anytime. And this is, I don't really have a name for it, but it's basically like using your senses to bring yourself into your present moment, in your body right now. So whereas we just use our senses to go on a mental vacation of someplace we enjoy to go on vacation, this is about bringing yourself into this present moment. And the reason this is so powerful is because remember how I said that anxiety is future casting. You're worried about all the worst case scenarios of what could happen. You can't actually be anxious if you're focused on what's happening in this very moment. So they've said that depression is you're regretful about all the stuff that happened in the past, and you're ruminating on all the stuff you did wrong. You're guilty, shameful of all that. Whereas anxiety is future casting about all the bad stuff that could happen in the future. Worst case scenario of everything bad. The place of being in peace and calm is this very moment in your body right now. So this could be called mindfulness. Some people don't like that word either. So I'm trying to use very generic language that doesn't trigger anyone. So this is using your senses to be in your body right now. You can't be anxious. You can't be in that stress response if you're in your body right now. So some tricks for this are using sensory things. Okay. So what's your favorite smell? Do you have an essential oil? Do you have a candle that you love? Lighting that and noticing that smell right now. What's a texture that you like? So maybe these little fuzzy avocados I've got back here. You can also get a little square of cloth. So actually in the, for some autistic people, having a really a soft textured fabric is something that grounds them in the moment. all the continuum of I'm trying to think of the right phrase for the autistic versus normative processing. Anyone on the continuum anywhere.
Spectrum?
You can,
I don't know. Yeah.
no, your brain, all your normative brain processing, wherever you are on the continuum, like the sensory feeling can be something anyone can use. So some people don't know this, but how I got into keto in the first place is I was in a horrific car accident, and I had really significant PTSD being in a car. One of the techniques that my therapist taught me was she gave me this Cush ball. Does anybody remember Cush balls? Those plastic, spiky, soft
things coming out. Yeah.
Yeah. She gave me one of those, and for years afterwards, driving the car, I would have that and touch it. Okay, so remember that the stress response is worry. So part of PTSD is you're anxious about I'm going to crash or I'm going to die. And so touching that Cush ball, that texture would bring me back into this moment and out of the worry and anxiety and the stress. And so find some kind of a fabric that you like or some kind of texture, anything. It can be hard, spiky, soft, just something that's unusual. And that can help you bring yourself into this moment as well. So physical senses, but also just feeling, what does it feel like right now? Like, what does your chair right now feel like, Eric? Like
it's
you've
good.
Been sitting too long, maybe?
A little soft.
I sort of feel like
numb butt. I always got a numb butt, though.
What do your toes feel like on the ground? What do your hands feel like maybe on your thighs? What do you hear around you? For me, I hear a fan right there.
I hear Carole's beautiful voice.
Aw. I hear Eric's voice. What else do I hear? I don't think I hear anything else. So those are some tricks then about bringing yourself back into your body. And just take a deep breath. Feel it go all the way down. Take a big sigh. All right. Ceda Ramos McQuone, Hawaii. Never been, but would love to see that beautiful water and beach. That's perfect, right? It doesn't even have to be someplace you've ever been to take that mental vacation. The cheapest, most satisfying vacation you've ever had, because, I mean, let's be honest. How many times have you been on vacation where things didn't go as planned? Your mental vacation can be perfect every time. Lewis, oh, that's what that was. Okay, I don't know what that was about. All right. And yeah, so we got it in, Eric. We got in. It was training.
Great. We went through how to be more stress-free, a restaurant that we will have an investor in, hopefully, after this episode. This has been very, very eye-opening, and I'm so grateful. This has been a great time.
I'm so grateful that you took the time to be here. I know I've been wanting to have you on for a while just to share your success with keto. You're such an inspiration. You're so fun. This was so fun for us to hang out. Everyone tune in next week. I actually have a guest co-host that's going to talk about body positivity and how personal style, about how you don't have to wait till your ideal. You don't have to be a supermodel or Sports Illustrated cover model to actually wear clothes that you feel good in. And so that's what I've got coming up for our next episode. And like Eric said, we talked so much about stress. We talked about so many great things. You did a great recap. That's so great.
You know what? You're great.
You're born to be a co-host. Eric, where can people see you? What do you got coming up? Where can they get in touch if they want to see more of you?
I have a lot of fun shows coming up. I always direct people over to my, hold on.
I can do a banner. Tell me, do you have a website?
It's just at Erik Escobar on Instagram. That's ErikEscobar. I have a lot of fun shows coming up. I'll be by the end of this year. I think I'm going to be in Kentucky. I'm going to be up in the Bay Area tomorrow, doing Idaho. Hell yeah, there it is. So if I'm ever where you are, come on out. We will share a vodka soda together, nice and carbless, minimal carbs. Say you heard me on Keto Chat, and we can talk keto stuff and how great Carole is. I'm just so happy to have all of you tuning into this amazing show.
Eric's got so many great shows coming up. Every time I see his list of shows he's got coming up, I'm like, oh my gosh, he won't even have time to ever come on my show. So
Mom's basement, grandmother's basement, mom's basement again, shower, great list.
I'm so grateful you've been here. This has been a blast. The last 90 minutes just flew by. Yay! We get our own whatever flavor of nut pods that we choose. Valerie's going to pick it for us. We've got so Sita. Is it Sita? Is that how you say that? She lives in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville. I think I know how to say that too. Louisville. Wait, are you gonna? Did you just say you're going to be in Kentucky?
I am. I'm over at the Comedy Caravan.
Okay. What date?
In
Be
Kentucky.
Specific with your date.
I gotta look at my calendar. Oh my Lord, I feel so bad. You know what? Hit me up on Instagram and we will make sure to get some tickets. It'll be a great time.
See to find Erik here. I'll put it back up. Erik Escobar on Instagram, and you can find his dates. Oh my gosh, how cool would it be? Sita gets to see you in Kentucky. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear about that connection. That's awesome.
I would love if Sita saw me.
Valerie's got some good ideas. Oh yeah, fuzzy slipper socks. That's another sensory thing. Buy yourself the most soft, comfy slipper socks. That's another good sensory one. Peppermint tea. Oh, I love it. That's another one. Very flavorful in your mouth. Scented candles, vanilla and amber. I
actually have a vanilla candle right here. A vanilla scented candle. Look at that. Great call, Valerie.
Your prop department is on point there. That's amazing.
They better be. Intern, can we get the amber candle? Bring on the amber candle, intern.
Can you get the slipper socks too there too? So
yeah.
Okay, Sita. Yeah, yes, I said it right. Sita. All right, excellent. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Tell me about how you guys go and meet Erik at his club there. Or your club. Highlands in Louisville. You'll love it down there. Lots of eclectic folks here. So
I'm an eclectic man, so it'll be great. Yes.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. We do this live every week, 4 p.m. Pacific, but also on everywhere you listen to podcasts. This is what episode was this? Number 26. So we've got lots of episodes. If you enjoyed this, go back and listen to all the other ones. Come back and watch us live. Erik, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it, y'all.
Yay, everyone. Have a good day. We'll see you next time. Bye.